We all know the big cities, New York, Louisiana, Chicago, but what about the places America left behind? Today we're taking a road trip to 7 towns so shocking and forgotten, you'll wonder how they still exist. These aren't just dots on a map, they're places with deep, sometimes dark stories swept under the rug of history. This isn't your typical travel vlog. We're diving into the heart of what happens when the American dream turns into a nightmare. If you think these stories deserve to be told, hit subscribe. Your support helps us shine a light on the hidden corners of our world. Buckle up. Our first stop is literally on fire. Welcome to Centralia, Pennsylvania. This small town, once bustling with life and industry, now stands eerily silent, a testament to a disaster that has been smoldering beneath its surface for decades. In 1962, a seemingly innocuous trash fire in an old mining pit ignited a vast underground coal seam. What began as a routine fire quickly spiraled into an uncontrollable inferno beneath the town. That fire never went out. It's still burning, right now, beneath the empty streets. The once vibrant roads are now cracked and desolate, with steam rising ominously from the ground. At first, residents tried to ignore it. Life continued as usual, with people going about their daily routines, hoping the fire would eventually extinguish itself. But then, the ground cracked open, smoke and poisonous gases seeped into homes, and roads buckled from the heat. The danger became impossible to ignore, as the very earth beneath their feet became unstable. The government stepped in during the 1980s, offering buyouts. Officials met with residents, explaining the risks and urging them to leave for their safety. Most families left, their homes demolished, their community erased. What was once a thriving town became a series of empty lots, overgrown and forgotten. Today, Centralia is a ghost town. The echoes of its past linger in the empty streets and abandoned buildings, a haunting reminder of what once was. Streets lead nowhere, and steam still rises from cracks in the asphalt. The landscape is surreal, almost otherworldly, as nature slowly reclaims the land. For years, the graffiti highway became a strange memorial, but even that's been buried now. It was a place where visitors left their mark, a colorful testament to human resilience and creativity amidst desolation. What's left is silence, a haunting reminder of lives uprooted by a disaster that never ends. The wind whispers through the weeds, carrying stories of a community that once thrived here. Scientists say the fire could burn for another 250 years. This relentless blaze is a stark reminder of the power of nature and the unintended consequences of human actions. Centralia was consumed by the very industry that built it. The coal that once fueled its economy now fuels its destruction, a tragic irony that underscores the town's fate. It's a chilling monument to how fragile our homes can be. As the sun sets over the ruins, Centralia stands as a somber reminder of the delicate balance between human ambition and the forces of nature. Next, we head to Peacher, Oklahoma, a town poisoned by its own prosperity. Once the world's largest producer of lead and zinc, Peacher's mines left behind mountains of toxic waste called chat. Kids played on these piles, not knowing they were laced with heavy metals. Underground, abandoned mines filled with water, turning into a toxic soup that seeped into wells. Lead poisoning devastated the community, especially its children. In 2008, a tornado struck, sealing the town's fate. The government declared it too dangerous to rebuild. Residents were bought out and forced to leave. Today, Peacher is a wasteland, empty slabs, toxic hills, and a future stolen by the very ground it stood on. It's a stark warning about the price of progress when we ignore the cost. Now to Cairo, Illinois, at the meeting of the Ohio and Mississippi rivers. Once a booming river city, Cairo was torn apart by deep racial tensions and violence. In the 1960s, civil rights protests and boycotts led to years of unrest and economic collapse. Businesses closed, people fled, and the city's population plummeted. Today, Cairo is a shadow of its former self. Historic buildings rot, and hope is scarce. The grand mansions are collapsing, symbols of a lost prosperity. Walking through Cairo, you see the ghosts of what was, and the harsh reality of what remains. It's a powerful reminder. A town's true wealth is its people. When hate takes root, it can destroy a place as surely as any disaster. Let's head west to Bodie, California, a gold rush boomtown frozen in time. In the late 1800s, Bodie exploded overnight as thousands chased dreams of fortune. Saloons, gambling halls, and gunfights made it the Wild West personified. But when the gold ran out, so did the people. By the 1940s, Bodie was deserted. What makes Bodie unique is its arrested decay, buildings and belongings left exactly as they were. Walk into the old general store and you'll see shelves still stocked with century-old goods. Peer into homes and classrooms, and it's as if the residents just vanished. Bodie is a time capsule of hope, struggle, and disappointment, a museum of abandoned dreams. It's a haunting reminder that for every prospector who struck it rich, thousands left with nothing but dust. Next, Gary, Indiana, a city built by U.S. Steel in 1906 to house its workers. For decades, Gary was the symbol of American industrial might, its mills running day and night. But when the steel industry collapsed, so did Gary. Layoffs turned into an exodus. The population plummeted, and entire neighborhoods emptied out. Today, Gary is famous for its ruins, majestic churches, theaters, and thousands of abandoned homes. These aren't ancient relics, they're recent memories, still fresh for those who remember the city's heyday. Gary's story is the Rust Belt's in its most extreme form, a city built for one purpose, left adrift when that purpose vanished. It's a living ruin that asks, what do we owe the places we build and then abandon? Now, let's step into the shadows for something truly chilling. Dudleytown, Connecticut, often whispered about as the infamous Village of the Damned. Hidden deep within the thick brooding forests of Litchfield County, this place has inspired fear and fascination for generations. Dudleytown was founded back in the 1740s by a handful of settlers hoping to carve out a new life. But from the very beginning, the land seemed cursed. Rocky soil made farming nearly impossible, and the village's isolation left its residents vulnerable. Over the decades, a string of bizarre misfortunes struck. Crops failed, livestock vanished, and families were haunted by inexplicable tragedies. Tales of madness, mysterious disappearances, and untimely deaths began to swirl. Some claimed a dark curse followed the Dudley family from England, while others whispered about supernatural forces lurking in the woods. These stories grew with each retelling, transforming Dudleytown into a legend that haunted the region. By the early 1900s, the last residents had abandoned their homes, leaving the forest to reclaim the crumbling stone foundations and overgrown paths. Nature moved in, erasing almost every trace of human life. In the 1980s, famed paranormal investigators like Ed and Lorraine Warren declared Dudleytown demonically possessed. Their chilling accounts drew thrill seekers, ghost hunters, and curious visitors from all over, each hoping to catch a glimpse of the supernatural. Unfortunately, the surge of visitors led to vandalism and trespassing, damaging the fragile ruins and disturbing the peace. In response, conservationists and local authorities closed the area to the public, determined to protect what little remained. Today, Dudleytown is strictly off-limits, patrolled by police and marked with stern warning signs. The secrets of the village are now hidden beneath layers of moss and mist, swallowed by the ever-encroaching woods. Was Dudleytown truly cursed, or was it simply a victim of bad luck, harsh living conditions, and the power of rumor? The truth remains elusive, lost to time and tangled in the roots of the forest. But one thing is certain, Dudleytown stands as a haunting reminder of how fear, folklore, and the unknown can transform an ordinary place into a myth so powerful, the only way to end the story is to let the forest erase it forever. Our final stop, Times Beach, Missouri, a town whose name has all but vanished from the map, erased by a single catastrophic mistake that no one saw coming. Once a quiet, close-knit community nestled along the Merrimack River, Times Beach was a place where families built their lives, children played in the streets, and neighbors gathered for small-town events. But beneath the surface, a disaster was quietly brewing. In the 1970s, the town faced a common rural problem: dust from unpaved roads. To keep the dust down, city officials hired a local hauler to spray oil on the streets, a routine solution used in many small towns across America at the time. But this time, something went terribly wrong. Unbeknownst to residents, the hauler mixed in toxic waste contaminated with dioxin, a byproduct of chemical manufacturing and one of the deadliest substances known to science. Invisible and odorless, the poison seeped into the soil and air, settling into the very heart of the community. For years, life went on as usual. Children rode their bikes and played tag on streets laced with poison. Families tended gardens, unaware of the danger beneath their feet. But soon, animals began to fall ill. Horses collapsed in fields, pets died mysteriously, and residents started to notice strange illnesses spreading through the town. In 1982, after years of mounting suspicion and unexplained sickness, the Environmental Protection Agency arrived. Their tests revealed a horrifying truth. Dioxin levels in Times Beach were hundreds of times above what was considered safe, making it one of the most contaminated places in America. As if things couldn't get worse, a catastrophic flood swept through the town that same year. The floodwaters spread the toxic contamination even further, carrying poison into homes, yards, and the river itself, making the entire area hazardous. The government had no choice but to act. Times Beach was declared uninhabitable. Warning signs went up, roadblocks were set, and the once thriving town was sealed off from the world. Every resident, over 2,000 people, was bought out and forced to leave behind their homes, memories, and community. Moving trucks lined the streets as families packed up their lives, many for the last time. The entire town was demolished. Houses, schools, and businesses were torn down. Contaminated soil was dug up and incinerated in a desperate attempt to destroy the poison that had ruined so many lives. Today, the land where Times Beach once stood has been transformed into a state park. Nature has reclaimed the area, and walking trails now wind through fields where homes and playgrounds once stood. Almost no trace remains of the vibrant community that once called this place home. Only faint outlines of old roads and a small memorial sign hint at the tragedy that unfolded here. Times Beach is now a ghost town of memory, a silent warning about the invisible dangers that can lurk beneath our feet, and a reminder of how a single mistake can erase an entire community from the map. 7 towns, 7 tragedies, scars on the American landscape. They remind us that progress isn't always forward, and that for everything we build, something can be lost. Thank you for joining me on this journey into America's forgotten corners. These stories aren't just about the past, they're about our present and future. If you believe these places deserve a voice, subscribe and help us keep searching for stories that need to be told. As you go about your day, remember, every place, no matter how ruined, was once somebody's home. Stay curious, stay compassionate, and never forget the people behind the stories. Thank you for watching.